What's up, party people? This is Jose Heredia with the CrossFitter Show, and I have a small problem. I've had this SKB case for the past 12 years, and it's seen some better days. And unfortunately, I've come across a problem, not because the case is there's something wrong with the case, but because I really torture this case. I toss it around, I throw it in the back of the truck, and when I get to the venue, it's just really abused, and it keeps all my stuff safe. The problem I'm having is that in one of the protectors, because of the sliding around, it's created a hole right here. And I really wanted to see if I can take care of this. And according to SKB, the company that makes this mic case, they say they have a lifetime warranty. So I'll see if they're going to be able to come through with their promise and maybe find a replacement for this nice little case. So we're here in the city of Orange at SKB, and we're going to take a look inside and see if they're able to replace my case. Good. Jose from the CrossFitter Show. How are you?
Good. I'm Jerry Andreas with SKB.
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Nice to meet you. What do we got here?
Well, this case I've had for 11 years, and I've taken it with me everywhere, all over the place. And I take my microphones even for the show. I was wondering if you could help me out. I got a problem back here.
Yeah.
If I want to turn around.
You sure do.
This right here.
Yeah, one of the bumpers looks like it's cracked and broken a piece off. Wow.
Have you seen cases that come back?
Not very often. We do have a lifetime warranty, and we can offer that because we don't see a lot of these cases come back. They are very road rugged, and this obviously has seen a lot of the road.
A lot of the road.
Yeah.
It's been to Vegas and back, Sacramento, yeah. San Diego, everywhere.
But the good news is we do have a lifetime warranty, and that is a warranted breakage there. So we actually manufacture this type of product right here in this factory. Would you like to go back and see how it's made?
Are you kidding me? Of course, I would.
That's great. Let's go do it.
All right, come on, guys. All right, Jerry, so we are inside the factory of the SKB cases, and about 11 years ago, this case could have started from right here?
We made on this machine right here. We have a machine up here in the States. We've got a number of machines down in our Mexico plant, and this was the first style product we ever made. 33 years ago, Dave and Steve, engineers at Long Beach, were challenged by a local music store to come up with a molded case, something lightweight but durable, and they a lot of experimenting, and actually burned down that gentleman's facility because of an accident. But he's the B in SKB, and but through years of trial and error, they've really developed something that's really unique. This is a vacuum form process. So what it basically does is it takes a raw sheet of PE or ABS styrene. It's a plastic that's our formulation, and it's in cut sheets. It's put into this clamp mechanism that holds the sheet in place. Then this entire this whole machine rotates. It has 3 stations. That station then moves into an oven where it heats up the plastic and gets to the plastic where it's almost molten. I mean, it's gotten really pliable. Then that station moves again into a position that's in between a vacuum, a bucket, and basically a mold on top. And that mold comes down while the draw bucket comes up from beneath and pulls the air out, and the plastic then forms right around the shell of the aluminum cast. and there's your product. That's exactly how this case was made.
So they come out in two pieces,
yes.
And then later you add the hardware to make it into a one whole piece.
Exactly. On this case, you'll see that there's this aluminum we call a valance, and that's there to give that goes on top of the plastic, and it gives it a lot more rigid construction. This is a fairly thin wall, and this is the only way you can get a gasket and hardware attached to it was on this valance. Well, there's two other types of cases. One is an injection mold, and there's some real advantages to that. And the other one is roto mold, and it has its own unique advantages. So between the three processes, we can kind of determine how the product should be made. Should it be an injection mold or vacuum or roto? And I'll explain a little bit of that on our next process. Let's go over and check out the injection molds.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we go to see the injection molded?
Let's do it.
All right, Jerry, so what is this huge piece of machinery that we have standing next to us?
Well, this is our latest machine. This is an injection molder, and it uses tremendous pressure to form our cases, whereas the other one was basically vacuum forming, so it was just sucking the air out. This uses tremendous amount of pressure with two very large platens that are pushed together under high pressure. This product is ideal for a product that's more rigid. We make waterproof cases out of this. We make a lot of our hardware. This is a handle that we've made, and honestly, the material, most of the material out of this has come from the excess of the vacuum former. That always has a lip of excess material where we can grind that up and recycle it and turn it into an injection molded handle.
So Jerry, in this process, the initial material, the raw material, comes out in a different form. How does it look?
Well, unlike the vacuum form, which is a solid sheet of plastic, this comes in little granulars. It's a white, small little pebbles, almost like sand, large grained sand. And that is the virgin material is white, and this is the regrind from our vacuum form. So these two get mixed together in order to create some of the cases. Now, you'll see that we're running red cases right now, or an orange, and that is just a different color bead that gets put in, and it gets mixed in. The way this works is that the plastic gets fed into one end of what looks like a large corkscrew inside here, and that heats up and creates pressure and then is shot into the mold. This product here actually has 10,500 cubic tons of pressure per square inch. So it's a tremendous amount of pressure, which means you got to have a lot of steel to support that, because you're going to cycle that through many, many times in a day.
You showed me one of the molds, and the mold's walls are just tremendous, or right. 2-3 inches thick.
They can weigh up to 15 tons. So we have some very large cranes here that will show you that move these molds around, because it's the only way you can move something that heavy. So we have a robot arm that actually goes in, and there's these rods that push the product off of the mold, and it goes onto these suction cups, and they get pulled up and removed from the machine and dropped over here to a station.
Cool. And then there's a final process of manufacturing the cases, yeah. That is roto-molded. Roto-mold,
yes. I call it the Jules Verne machine here. It's a lot different than anything else that you've seen. This is real high-tech.
Well, the machines I saw, it looks like medieval torture devices.
Well, you might think that, but it's really a very simple process, and it makes a lot of sense. I know light bulbs always go off when people walk around the corner and see this and go, "Oh, now I get it." So let's go take a look at that.
All right, Jerry. So there's roto-molded, which we were talking about earlier, which looks medieval.
Yeah.
Explain to us what's going on here.
Well, it kind of sounds like a pit stop at NASCAR, but what it is it's cast molds that a powder is put in, so it's even finer than the injection mold, and it's just poured in based on how many pounds of material for molds, and then they seal up the mold. Right now they're disassembling the mold, but you take the parts off the mold, and when you reassemble it, you put the plastic in it, and then that gets hooked to an arm. And you might have 4, you might have 6 or 8 different molds going on at the same time. Those are on a rotating arm that swivels around here and goes into an oven where we bake at a pretty high temperature. And what that does is that plastic melts and just coats, kind of like the Pepto-Bismol commercial where it coats the sides, and you kind of get that visual. And what it does, what's great about this is you can make a really, really large product. And there are things that you can do. You can have threaded inserts, so field replaceable latches with threaded inserts. As you can see, it's built right into the plastic. Really, really durable. This can also be waterproof, so it can be thicker walls than the vacuum form. It's designed a lot. We do a lot for waterproof shock racks. We can make really large products, rotomold, and it doesn't cost us as much as it would be an injection mold. Yeah. Laser. Yeah, yeah.
All right, Jerry, so our little case took a little tour of the factory, and he's probably looking at the factory like, yeah, I remember this spot.
Yep.
And then now we're here at the warehouse where you keep all the cases. Tell us about the warehouse.
Well, this is the last place that we see this case. Our cases leave here, and they're off all over the world. This is our single shipping point in the United States. We also ship to, there's a big shipment going to Australia, there's a big shipment that's leaving for Japan. A lot of times the product arrives on second shift, and the next day it's out of here. So we turn a lot of this, even though it looks like the last scene of Indiana Jones. There are a lot of boxes here, but it's amazing how many boxes get turned through this warehouse.
Are you sure the ARC isn't in one of the SKB cases?
You know, it's possible. I'm not saying, but you know, the case that you have, we still make, and in fact, I was able to dig one up.
Nice.
And, let's just take a look at it.
Hopefully we can find the ARC in there.
So it has taken a little bit of a beating, but it looks almost exactly the same. We've changed the logo a little bit. These latches are done a little bit differently. So there you go. This is before, after.
This is 10 years of hard work, guys, and believe me, it served me well. I hate to see it go. I'm gonna give it a last hug. Cool. So SKB, how do people get a hold of the company and the website, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff?
We're on, well, our website is skbcases.com. We've got all new information up there. We're on Facebook, so you can join SKB Cases on Facebook. We're on Twitter, and you can follow us. And if you also want to get news on cases, you can sign up on a newsletter, and we just keep that as an internal thing for our customers, and we let them know of new things that are coming along.
Cool. Well, Jerry, it was a pleasure. Nice giving us a tour of the factory. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed it.
There were moments of high pressure, not on us, on the product itself, and moments of extreme heat, but we managed to get through it, and our case survived, and now we got our new case.
There you go. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.